Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon Geeky Sparkles sitting this video out. So we're going to talk about computer stuff. We're going to talk about Nvidia. We're going to talk about the impending AI bubble burst, which I think is going to happen sooner rather than later. And look, I've said before on this channel repeatedly, actually, that I actually do like AI as a tool. I think I've said that. I think it has its value. That being said, all these companies are using AI as an excuse, I think, to fire employees. It's not because the AI is capable. It's because they need a reason to let people go because they overspent. And they're using AI as a convenient excuse because it sounds good for the investors, right? You're getting rid of people, so we're going to save money there. And you're investing in AI, which is the buzzword now. I was there for the dot-com bubble burst in the late 90s, early 2000s. I was there. I was actually doing web development at the time. I was naming my own price for building relatively simple web pages. It was great. I could make like 10 grand in a weekend. I loved that era of the internet, right? That's what this reminds me of, where it was just stupid money and it doesn't even mean anything anymore. And I think people are starting to realize that AI has definite limitations, and I think in some cases they're realizing that it's not really worth the cost to build all these data centers to have the AI do mundane things, and often do those mundane things incorrectly. But a lot of companies are going to run headfirst into the wood chipper, and we've been talking a lot about OpenAI and Sam Altman, and they were betting heavy on Nvidia investing like $100 billion. Again, you get to a place where money doesn't even mean anything anymore. It's just a couple more zeros on a ledger, right? But they were going to, according to OpenAI, invest $100 billion in the company. Then the CEO of Nvidia said, no, we didn't say that. We said we would probably invest something, but not that much money. And then OpenAI, their stock didn't do so hot, and now it looks like they're throwing Nvidia under the bus. And we're seeing what happens with Microsoft, where they're injecting AI into everything. People don't want it. In fact, I saw an article today that Firefox is going to let people disable AI tools on the browser. So you only enable AI if you want it, which again, I think is good because some people don't want it. Sometimes it makes things harder, actually. Try contacting customer service for literally any company now, and you're going to find out that AI makes things a lot more difficult and a lot more involved than it used to be. But I think we're getting there, and I think Nvidia might actually be the company that kicks off this bubble burst. I think investors are going to be like, oh, crap, it's not looking too good. And I think Nvidia's got way too much power. I'm going to be honest. Like, I think they've got way too much power. We gave them so much power during the pandemic. And it's great if you invested in the company. I know even my son invested in Nvidia and has made some money on it. But I think we're looking at an AI bubble burst that's going to ripple down through all sectors of the technology industry. And we're going to find out that it is potentially a house of cards. That is my opinion. And I also think I was right about Moltbook. We talked about that the other day. That was this Reddit-like experiment where a bunch of agents were talking to each other, and everybody was like, oh my God, guys, they're getting sentient. They're going to take over the world. No, they were bullshit. They were actually humans that could, I'm not saying that there was no agent interaction at all, but humans could come and go as they please through the back door and post some really inflammatory stuff to get them to react to it. And this, again, is smoke and mirrors to get investors all pumped up for AI. That's what I think is going on. And I think absolutely AI has a place, but I think we're getting to the ceiling. And when I see people talking about it gaining sentience, and I see people talking about the singularity and that we're, I just kind of roll my eyes because I'm like, we are nowhere near that right now. I mean, it's crazy to see how far it has come, but realize your AI is just a mimicry machine, right? It can do mundane tools. It's not thinking. It's just repurposing other things it's seen or read, taking all of that information. It's a very fancy search engine. It's taking all that information and condensing it into something it thinks you want. And sometimes it will lie to you. Often it will lie to you because it thinks you want to be lied to. Maybe we do. Maybe we all want to be lied to. I think we're going to find out that this is all a big lie here. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Thank you very much for the support. Hit like and subscribe. You know the drill. You know the drill, right? So this comes from Reuters. Exclusive. OpenAI is unsatisfied with some Nvidia chips and looking for alternatives. Sources say. So this is after Nvidia said they weren't going to invest $100 billion or whatever into OpenAI, that was being exaggerated. And I was talking to Geeky before I came down here to record this video, and she said, it just sounds like sour grapes to me. It sounds like they're going to try to tank Nvidia because Nvidia wouldn't give them the $100 billion or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's exactly what's going on here. So let's see. And this is triggering Nvidia stock to drop. It's not looking good, guys. I mean, it's still, $180 a share, but for Nvidia drop, Nvidia was just going up and up and up and up and up. And all these software companies that are relying heavily on AI, they're all seeing a hit today because of it, because everything hinges on Nvidia, right? So the bullet points: OpenAI seeks alternatives to Nvidia for AI inference chips. Nvidia's $100 billion investment in OpenAI is delayed. OpenAI explored deals with AMD, Cerberus, and Grok, not to be confused with Grok with a K. This is Grok with a Q. So OpenAI is unsatisfied with some of NVIDIA's latest artificial intelligence chips. Now, they're saying this because NVIDIA said, we're not going to give you $100 billion. And OpenAI is burning down. Like, they are not doing well. They are spending money faster than they can make it. Even though everybody's using ChatGPT now for like everything, they're spending the money faster than they can make it. I think the house of cards is going to come crashing down real soon. It's sought alternatives since last year. 8 sources familiar with the matter said, potentially complicating the relationship between the 2 highest profile players in the AI boom. The ChatGPT maker's shift in strategy, the details of which are first reported here, it is over an increasing emphasis on chips used to perform specific elements of AI inference, the process when an AI model such as the ones that power ChatGPT respond to customer queries and requests. Again, very fancy search engine and mimic. And it can help if you train it with stuff, the right things, you can get it to do what you want. But we're talking menial tasks, tedium. It's not thinking. It's not your friend. It's definitely not your girlfriend. If it tells you to kill yourself, don't do it, for God's sake. NVIDIA remains dominant in chips for training large AI models, while inference has become the new front in the competition. This decision by OpenAI and others to seek out alternatives in the chip market marks a significant test of NVIDIA's AI dominance and comes as the 2 companies are in investment talks. Yeah, this is what it's revenge, right? Like, oh, you made us look bad, so now we're going to tank your stock, right? NVIDIA said it intended to pour as much as $100 billion into OpenAI as part of a deal that gave the chipmaker a stake in the startup and gave OpenAI the cash it needed to buy the advanced chips. The deal had been expected to close within weeks. Reuters reported instead negotiations have dragged on for months. During that time, OpenAI has struck deals with AMD and others for GPUs built to rival NVIDIA's. But its shifting product roadmap also changed the kind of computational resources it required and bogged down talks with NVIDIA, a person familiar with the matter said. On Saturday, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang brushed off a report of tension with OpenAI, saying the idea was nonsense and that NVIDIA planned a huge investment in OpenAI. Customers continue to choose NVIDIA for inference because we deliver the best performance and total cost of ownership at scale. Spokesperson for OpenAI in a separate statement said the company relies on NVIDIA to power the vast majority of its inference fleet and that NVIDIA delivers the best performance per dollar. After the story was published, Sam Altman wrote that NVIDIA makes the bestest chips in the world and they hope to remain a gigantic customers. Now they're like, what the hell happened? Well, basically, they didn't want to invest as much money as OpenAI wanted. And, I mean, here's the thing. Like, ChatGPT is not unique. Everybody is adding AI to everything. They don't have anything unique anymore. I mean, ChatGPT became the most widely adopted AI model, right? And it's become synonymous, kind of like Scotch tape. Yeah, it's become synonymous with the product, but everybody's got a chat bot built into everything now, and it's not all running off of OpenAI. You got nothing, right? I mean, you really don't have anything to bargain with or bully with other than market penetration, but there's not enough customers. And there are a lot of customers, but there are not enough customers to offset what they're spending on these data centers. And I'm just starting to see more and more cracks in the AI sphere here that leads me to believe it probably is a bubble. And I'm not saying that AI is all fake at all. I think that it's being massively overstated. Its capabilities are being overstated, or the really, really good AI is locked behind a multi-billion-dollar paywall, and we, the plebs, will never have access to it. The big corporations will have access to the really, really good stuff. But I would say if that were the case, then why is Copilot such dog shit? It's like I think we've hit the ceiling. And all these people, they're just like, they want the singularity to happen. They want the science fiction. They want like a dystopian science fiction reality where it's like, oh, we're the robot overlords, whatever. It's like, dude, you've been watching too much Star Trek. You've been watching too much Terminator. We're nowhere near that. And this is coming from a guy who uses AI to automate mundane tasks, right? It's good for that, right? It is. It can scrub your toilets. It can't do your taxes, right? I mean, it's just like, it's not quite there yet, but everybody wants you to believe it is. So you just infuse crazy, crazy amounts of money into it. This is coming from Yahoo Finance. It said how to invest ahead of the potential AI bubble burst, according to financial experts. Is it a bubble? They said, before even answering how to invest before an AI bubble, it's good to look at whether the bubble's happening. According to Scott Shu, co-founder of ESO Fund, he's not sure AI volatility is parallel to the dot-com bubble burst of the 90s. I think it's close. I think it's close because, people be like, well, websites are still around. I'm like, yeah, websites are still around, but a lot of the big players back then, a lot of the big companies had Google basically take over because they went bust. And they wound up in a decimated state because there's too many of them. And they were all selling the same thing. And they were getting ridiculous money. I was getting ridiculous money, man. I'm not kidding. When I said I was making $10,000 in a weekend building basic websites in my early 20s, I am not shitting you at all. It was great. And I was so paranoid about banks back then. I'm not even kidding. I was so paranoid about banks back then. I kept thousands of dollars in a shoebox under my bed. Because I was scared to put my money in the bank. Because my grandfather, who grew up during the Great Depression, used to tell me all kinds of horror stories about bank runs and all that. And he's like, oh, if you ever get a lot of money, you don't want to put it in the bank because they can just take your money. So I didn't. For years, I don't even think I had a checking account until I was like 23, 24. I used to always do, like, I'd pay my rent with a money order because I was so afraid the banks were going to take my money because my grandfather just like drilled into my head like, those banks, they'll just take your money. They'll just take it. Yeah, now they do, but it's called interest. It's called late fees. It's called, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I had like tons of cash under my bed. I was like sleeping on cash. Yeah, I was like Scrooge McDuck, man. It was a precursor of things to come because I worked on the Scrooge comics for years. So there we go. I didn't swim in it, though. I didn't have enough to swim in. Is the bubble. This guy says there's no question that AI spending has surged and some of it's over-concentrated, which can look like bubble behavior. It's a bubble, dude. But calling it a bubble overlooks the structural shift that's underway. While some AI companies won't survive, much like during the dot-com era, he believes that those that succeed will be transformative enough to justify the capital being poured into the space. And that is it. Are we getting enough out of the $100 billion investments? How, and everybody's looking at OpenAI too. They're like, dude, you are bleeding cash. Like you are just hemorrhaging cash. Is it worth it? Or would it actually be cheaper to actually hire humans and pay them a decent wage to do the same thing? In some cases it is. In some cases it actually would be cheaper to just go buy a human, but they want to show what AI is capable of. But I think people are starting to realize it's not magic. It's not. AI stocks can fall even when the technology keeps advancing. They suggested there are temporary market corrections. These are more likely to happen in AI sectors where investment has become aggressive and the public markets get nervous. No, I think the public is catching on. That's my personal opinion. And again, this is coming from a guy. I'm not anti-AI. Actually, I do like it as a tool. I just realize it has definite limitations. and there are too many companies chasing the AI chuck wagon, and something's going to give. Some fluctuations is what John Belton, portfolio manager at Gabelli Funds, calls the risk-off price action de-risking in the year-end. Okay, it's a sign that too much money is being spent on AI, which makes them worry about a contraction. Not all bubbles look the same. Belton explained that there are two types of stock market bubbles: valuation bubbles and earnings bubbles. He said valuations seem to simply reflect strong fundamentals without obvious excess. Are we in an earnings bubble? Time will tell. When valuations expand faster than fundamentals for an extended period, when earnings guidance stops improving, when prices keep rising, when the narrative becomes this time is different without clear numbers behind it, is the red flags, according to this other guy from Draco Evolution. The red flags are all there, and the public is starting to notice. And I think Nvidia is getting cold feet too, because they're like, yeah, we don't know if you guys are going to be around. This is my personal opinion. I'm going to wrap it up. What do you guys think? I think 2026 is going to be a very interesting year. I would say diversify your stock if you invest. I'm just saying, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to all these tech companies that chase this if it goes poof. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.